say Classic Legends as a brand, because I have recently bought a Jawa 42 Bobber in like February or January something, and people really have trust issues with this brand because we all know the previous products that Mahindra has built. I mean, in the two-wheeler segment, of course. But the issue with those things, I really don't know, man. Like, even my mom had a rodeo back almost a decade ago, and we sold it for around few thousand rupees, around 7 years or something ago, and then we got an Activa 3G. So I know more about Mahindra as a brand than most of the people do, because I use the previous bikes and the current lineup, which is again sold on under the name of the Classic Legends. Because I own a 42 Boba Black Mirror Edition, which has been ridden around 4,000 kilometers, which has never left, you can say, shed, and never been in dust a lot. At most, it has been with me in my hostel for around 3 weeks, and even in those 3 weeks, she has been through a little bit too much dramatic of an environment. It might be the rains or a lot of things. I'm just sorry because of the noises, because it is like I'm just bad at remembering the names of the festivals. Ganpati Resurgence, okay. So I'm in Pune right now, and that is the way things are. So talking about Classic Legends as a brand, there is BSA, there is ESD, and there is Java. They are launched in 2018 or something. And the most fascinating part about the Classic Legends brand is that the bike has the soul that it had in the past. The thing, or you can say the issue with this brand, is the service center and the way you don't have any knowledge or any, you can say, parts availability in the market. So for example, I own a Java 42 Bobber. The first service was free something, it was for like 1200 or 1500 rupees, because they give us around 5 or 6 services for free. And afterwards, for this like second service, which was around 6,000 kilometers or 6 months, actually my dad used to use that bike because I didn't have a license, so I couldn't bring it to the college. But it has been ridden around 4,000 kilometers, out of which 3,000 has been ridden by me. And weird part is, it is one of the most gorgeous bikes under 8 lakh rupees. And it might be the case that most of the people cannot even, I don't know, man. Like the 3 lakh, there is no better bike than a 32 Bobber. If you're a sort of 42 Bobber, so of course I'm just in the right state of mind right now. If you just keep away the fact that you're looking into the classic market and into classic like retro models, you can say like the Speed 400 or the right now Gorilla 450. The issue with those bikes are they aren't like Royal Enfield and like Triumph bikes. But the Java is just a Java, like just every single Java. It just feels like a Java. It rides like a Java. It does what it really is meant to. Like for me, being a person, there is no other bike under 400cc that can give me the sort of feel, the manliness that a Java can give. But honestly, the things come back to the point where I'm not just a fan of the bike, but I also have ownership experience. So it has been around like February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, around 9 months, 8 or 9 months approx. So within this 8 or 9 months and those 2 servicings, there has been a lot of drama. First of all, there was a rattling issue within the right side of the exhaust, because the tip of it, I guess so, it is like a stainless steel tip. It has rivets in it of rubber which stop it from vibrating or like clashing with each other, the black exhaust. But the thing was, the rivets have fallen off and the people cannot really tackle the problem. So what they did was, they told me we'll ask the company and then they might change the exhaust within a warranty period. I was like, yeah, that's fine for me that you cannot do it, but the company has to take the guarantee, because there are not even a single scratch on that exhaust. The bike has never touched the ground. I mean the body, of course, not the tires. I scraped it a bit, but that is just wrong. Like I ran it too hard. I have even made it reach around 146, 147, whereas the top speed or the limit rates are 145. That is the sort of madness I've done with that bike. It is the most planted bike ever. I have tested around 20 bikes or something. I never liked a single one of them. But the fact that, like, let's start with the points. I'll just put them in the bookmarks or something. The first point is the mileage. It has claimed mileage of around 30 km per liter, but for me it was under 20 in the city, and on the highways it was at most 22. Before the first service it was around 25 on the highway, not the first. I will actually say the second service, which was the major service. The first service was around like 1500 kilometers. It wasn't that major of a service, but yeah, I don't know. I just don't want to talk about the service centers. I don't know how to even say this shit. Like, how can a bike who promises you around 30 km per liter give you around 20 km per liter? I mean, I can expect around 25 on highways at least, and in the city around 22 or 21. But 16 and 17 is like unexpectable for such a bike, because if that's the case, I would have gone for like RC390, which is my dream bike, but I really haven't because of the issues with the engine. And talking about the engine, it is a chaotic engine. It feels like a Jawa. You cannot compare a Jawa with Royal Enfield, because Royal Enfields are the classier cruiser bikes and Jawa is the classy but sportier bike. So keeping that thing in context, having liquid cooled should be a thing in the Jawa but not in the Royal Enfield. So just thinking about it, the Jawa has to perform the way it really should, like a sports bike, while looking classy enough. It performs perfectly and it redlines like a charm, because the peak rush you get in sports bike is around 6000 rpm. It is same with the Jawa, but it redlines at 8000 rpm and it sounds too good on the stock exhaust. So I would say it was a pleasant experience and it looks too good for any bike under 8 lakh rupees. I will just say that no bike looks as good as that thing. But the main issue is the service quality, and the paint issues too. Like, there is, on what do we call it, the swing arm has issue of paint chipping and then it is rusting within it, and a lot of people have issues with that thing. Like, the body is rusting a lot on these Jawas, and even the rubber is not that good. And when you think about it, you get a rear 17-inch and the front 18-inch. It is really hectic to find the 18-inch good tires. 17 inches are already available. The bike is, everything is perfect, but it is a good brand. It has good everything, but you will just visit the Instagram page. I'm the sort of person who have even shitted in the comments of almost half of their posts because of the poor experience I had. Once, like, I currently live in Pune, in the Kaudi region. So in Market Yard, Katraj or something, there is this showroom named Green Gears. And what happened was, I went over there to try the new FZ, because I'm looking for a new bike, because I really don't want to use the Java anymore. And when I went over there, I asked them, like, I want to test ride it but with a pillion, because it is a city bike and it was traveled from a person with me. The man just looked at me, and with a bit of hesitation he just said, I don't give people pillion rides, and he just left within, like, without giving me eye contact more than that. And that just made me angry, being a customer who has brought a bike from you before. And also the fact that I have been to that showroom for almost 4 times in a month. 2 times for the new FJ, once to try the classic 350, like the Java 350, to be like naming it properly. But I didn't like that bike. It is a good charming machine, but I'm an aggressive rider. It isn't meant for me. So the way the staff behave is really bad. Service center guys are better than the ones selling the bikes, because they don't even have knowledge about it. And I was asking the guy, why the f does this bike give me around a mileage of 20 kmpl if it really is saying 30 kmpl on the paper? And it is with every single model of theirs. I don't know about the new engines, Alpha 2 and something, but the older, all of them have this issue. Even the 422, some bikes have good mileage, some really don't. They use the cheaper variants of the oils, like engine oil. I don't know what they're doing with those bikes. Also, once the issue was it was raining a bit, and I just finished my papers and I went to refill the bike. And when I went to refill the bike, the key wasn't going inside the I don't know, the lock of the fuel recap cap. Forget the fuel cap. So the thing was, I took the bike and I went to the service center, and the issue was with the rusting. A bike which was bought in February, which has been in the open for at most 2 weeks, has this sort of issues. I mean, I cannot expect more than this. It's just too much for me. And even that was fine. That guy just ordered that did it for free, and I was okay with it. And then I went to the petrol pump, I filled the petrol, and as soon as I left, it started raining. And I had another phone which was Samsung S20 FE. The display collapsed and it was around 11,000 rupees. I still have the phone. You know, this one. The display isn't working. I cannot do anything about it. 11,000 is too much, so I bought a new phone. So I really don't know how to say much about it. So that is the thing. It feels like a charm if you are okay with the fact you have someone who can, work on the Javas pretty well, and also you are okay with the mileage. That is the biggest concern for me, being a teenage guy who is going to college. So that was the issues with it. And I really don't suggest people to buy a Java right now. I would say even the new 42FJ should be first tested by other people, let them know the mileage and all the stuff, because Javas are the best looking bikes in whatever category they land. They have the sportier engine and the classier looks, which make you feel like a man. And the one thing that catches me always, you can say the horn. The horn is so fucking manly. No other bike feels that manly. I don't know how to even say this, how it is even a point into consideration, but yeah, it just feels so good. And except that it rides too good. It is way more stable. Like, you can not even steer it with your legs. I have, even when I was doing the top speed around 147 or something, I removed my hands from the handle for around when it was around 140 km/h, and it was so fucking stable. Like, even the GT650 and the Interceptor cannot do this shit. This bike can do it. It has a 343cc liquid cooled engine. It has the twin exhaust, which looks pretty good. But I wouldn't suggest you guys to go with the Java. If you want something classier, go with the Royal Enfield, because it has, you can say, a better service quality and a bit more aftermarket support than the Javas. And if you want something sportier, you can always go for the new Pulsar NS400Z. I just tested it and that shit was bonkers. It was pretty good for the price being, as it is the cheapest 400 you can get in the market. But yeah, I would suggest you to go for a 42 Boba or a Java instead, because I am the sort of person who has bombarded comments in the Instagram accounts, in the CEO's Instagram accounts, in the ESD Love, ESD Forever account. Literally, I haven't received a single reply from them, and that is just hectic for a customer who just pays such amount of money, around like 3 lakhs or something, 2.7 or 2.8 lakhs on a bike. I just wish Java the best of luck for making better bikes, but this isn't it. And I would suggest nobody ever to buy those bikes unless Moto INC makes a review on those. Like, they made a review on the 350. That 50 is a pretty good bike. They never made a review on the Boba, and I bought a Boba, and that was the biggest issue. So yeah, if you want to know about more bikes or how the things have been with Java, feel free to ask it in the comments. Except that, I would say if you have a budget of around 2.5 lakhs, NS400 is the winner. If you want something classic, there is no good option in that range. You have to increase your budget a bit and go for like the classic 350. It doesn't have that sort of adrenaline rush or aggressiveness as other bikes, but it is just a cool laid back classic cruiser bike with a good suspension. Good enough, I would say. One of the best in its category as a classic. And if you pump up the price more, you can go for the Speed 400. But the issue with the Speed 400 is after 110 and 120, it just feels like it isn't going further. It doesn't have that sort of power. Even the NS400 feels better than the Triumph. I'm not talking about the build quality or something. I'm just talking about the engine. The Java has a soul that no other bike does in the market, but it isn't something that you should buy because just of the pricing. I'm sorry, not because of the pricing, because of the aftermarket support and the way the staff treats you and the service centers all. I wouldn't suggest you guys to go for a Java, and I'm repeating it again and again because I really want you guys to take it into consideration. There are better bikes than this, like the Pulsars, and if Pulsar is not a thing, then go for the Unfiltered. New 450, I guess so, the Gorilla. So the Gorilla 450 is a good option if you can put that price, but go for the flash variant which has that LCD display, because if you need something sportier and classic, you definitely need RPM meter, which the base model doesn't have, because it has the odometer, or you can say the speedometer of the Hunter 350. So go for the LCD one, they're way better than this bike. Just change the tire and you're good to go. So that's all for this video. Thank you.